Of all the chilling moments in Emmerdale's history, the sound of a heavy door sealing a man's fate in a dark, underground prison has to be one of the most terrifying. For Mackenzie Boyd, that sound wasn't just a door closing, it was the world ending. After tonight's heart-stopping episode, the question isn't just if Mac will survive, but what will be left of him if he does. John Sugden has left him to die, and we were all left screaming at our screens. Let's be honest, our hearts were in our throats from the very first scene. The episode plunged us straight back into the damp, oppressive silence of the bunker, a place that has become Mac's entire universe. You could almost feel the clammy cold seeping through the screen as he shivered, not just from the chill, but from the raging fever coursing through his veins. His wounds, a brutal reminder of his failed and desperate bid for freedom, were a ticking time bomb. John, playing the part of the reluctant, cold-hearted doctor, administered the last of the antibiotics. The way he delivered the news that there was no more medicine coming wasn't with a hint of regret, but with a chilling finality. It was a death sentence delivered in a calm, measured tone. "I can't survive down here much longer," Mac rasped, his voice raw with desperation. But the John standing before him was not the man he once knew. The door to empathy had been slammed shut and bolted. "You blew it," John reminded him, his words as sharp and cold as steel. This is where the psychological games truly began. Mac, with nothing left to lose and his body failing him, tried to appeal to John's humanity. He apologized, he pleaded, but it was like talking to a brick wall. The trust between them, however twisted it had been, was shattered beyond repair. You could see the dawning horror in Mac's eyes as John spoke of the secrets he'd shared, the vulnerabilities he'd exposed. "I told you a lot of things," John said, his voice low and menacing. "Things I should have kept to myself." The implication was terrifyingly clear. Those secrets, along with Mac, were never leaving that bunker. Meanwhile, in a world of sunshine and domesticity that felt miles away, John's seemingly perfect life was waiting. But even there, cracks were beginning to show. His husband, the ever-charming Aaron, was planning a surprise, and the very idea sent a flicker of paranoia across John's face. For a man hiding such a monstrous secret, any unexpected event feels like a threat. Aaron's sweet promise that he would love it did little to soothe the coiled tension in John's gut. This tiny mystery, this little secret of Aaron's, was the opening Mac so desperately needed. Back in the suffocating darkness as Mac's fever climbed, his mind sharpened with a desperate clarity. He saw John's plan to simply do nothing. To leave his fate in the lap of the gods, washing his hands of the murder he was committing through inaction. John wanted to protect his new happy life at all costs, but Mac decided if he was going down, he was going to shatter that perfect little snow globe first. With fever-bright eyes and a voice laced with venomous truth, he unleashed his final weapon. "The man you love doesn't love you." The words hung in the stale air, a poison dart aimed directly at John's deepest insecurity. He didn't stop there. He twisted the knife, revealing that Aaron was sleeping with John's own brother, Robert. It was an earth-shattering accusation, a bombshell designed to blow John's world apart. Of course, John brushed it off. He had to. He called it a desperate lie from a dying man, a pathetic attempt to save his own skin. But did you see the flicker of doubt in his eyes? A seed of poison had been planted. When John returned home, that poison was already at work. He tried to confront Aaron, dancing around the subject, unable to voice the hideous accusation but desperate for reassurance. And then came the big surprise. It wasn't another man. It was a hot tub. The sheer banality of it was staggering. As Aaron excitedly talked about jets and temperature settings, Mac was fighting for his life in a cold, dark hole in the ground. Aaron, oblivious to the turmoil raging inside his husband, laid on the charm. He soothed John's unstated fears, reassured him of his love, and sealed it with plans for the future. A lunch date with his mum the next day. It was the perfect picture of domestic bliss. But for John, it came with a dark calculation. Agreeing to the lunch meant leaving Mac completely alone, for 2 days. The decision was made in a heartbeat. He agreed. What followed was one of the cruelest scenes we've witnessed on the Dales in a long time. John returned to the bunker one last time, not with medicine or mercy, but with a bag of supplies, scraps to prolong the agony. He dropped the bag on the floor as if feeding an animal. His farewell was devoid of any emotion, a flat, final dismissal of a human life. "I've wasted enough of my time on you. You're on your own now, good luck with that." The clang of the heavy door, the grinding of the lock, the sudden, absolute darkness. Mack's desperate, terrified shouts were instantly muffled, swallowed by the earth, leaving him utterly, terrifyingly alone. How long can a man survive with a raging infection, dwindling supplies, and the crushing weight of hope being extinguished? Spoilers for next week tease that John is about to hit his breaking point, fueled by a growing jealousy over Aaron and Robert's connection. It seems Mack's poisonous words found their mark after all. The seed of doubt is growing, and it's about to tear John's carefully constructed world apart. But as John's life unravels above ground, will it be too late for the man he left to rot below? Will anyone find Mack before his time runs out? Tonight, Emmerdale left us with a truly agonizing cliffhanger, and the wait to find out his fate is going to be unbearable.